Now let's take a look at the example we saw in the slides of reading in a string from the command line and storing it in a character array. Now this is the exact same code that you saw in the slides. Now because we are not using the scanf function, but we're using Visual Studio, we are using the secure version of scanf_s. What you will discover if you run the exact same code with only scanf replaced by scanf secure, what you'll discover is that this code will not work as it is. There is, because of our use of scanf secure, there's one slight change that we have to make. Now on this line 10 in the code, you recall that we are specifying the length of the string that we are reading in and want to store in character array string 1. This 19 over here, the way we are specifying the length, the maximum length of the string we want to read in from the command line, that is the source of our problem over here. Let me first try to run this program as it is right now. I won't be able to. So enter a string. Okay, so I'm giving a string as input. Let me do the same one that we used in the example. Hello there, 2 words separated by a space. And we know that when we're reading in a string using scanf, it'll do so up to the point where it encounters a space, new line, tab, or null character. So this should read in only the word hello, insert a null character in the string in the character array, and skip the rest. And there you go. We have not an error, not a warning. We have something called an exception. Now, exceptions are outside the scope of this course, but you'll learn about exceptions later on in a more advanced course. Here's the thing: the scanf secure function uses a slightly different syntax to allow you to specify the maximum length of the string to read in. Instead of specifying the length together with the format specifier over here, instead what we have to do is close this, get rid of this for a moment, stop execution. Instead, what you have to do is you have to provide it as a third argument, like this. So 19 characters is what we're going to read in at max. You can see the wiggly line under scanf_s has disappeared. And now let me try to execute this program. I'll give the same input, hello there, and you see it works. String 1 is hello, string 2 is string space literal, what we initialized it to, and string 1 with spaces between characters is, and this is the printing out the character array with a space between each character, HELLO. I made a small mistake over here. There shouldn't be a space over here. Okay. All right. Now, let me try something. Let me try something bad. Let me give a very long input on the command line. Remember, the string 1 array is only 20 characters in size, meaning it can store a string of 19 characters because the last one is reserved for the null character. Let's see what's happened. Let's see what happens here. So you can see that the rest is still dropped. Now you may say that is because there's a space after the fifth character, O, of the hello. And you're right. So now let me try something, a string that's non-stop and greater than 20 characters. Let's see if that breaks the program. And you can see when the string is too long, none of it is read into string 1. And let me try a different string. Let me use some punctuation marks this time. So still a very long string, but in between I have parts separated by spaces. And the thing to see is that I use something other than letters. I'm using a single quote mark over here and a comma over here. And you can see that we still retain the first string, the first segment of the string over here until we hit the space character. Let me run this one more time, and this time let's step through this for loop over here. I want to show you how we hit the condition of a character being a null character, which gets us out of this for loop, which gets us out of the for loop. So let me try something very simple as input again. Hello there. Enter, and we are at the for loop. Let me step using F10. So let's see how well we can follow this along. So I, the counter variable over here, is at 0. We're in the loop for the first time. And the first character in string I, string 0 in this string 1's 0th element is H. Very convenient, the watch window down here. Let me continue to step. Let me switch to the call stack over here. Doesn't make much of a difference in this example, but let's at least see something useful. F10, F10, and now I will set equal to 1, and string 1's the element in the string 1 character array at index number 1 is E, the E from hello. Keep going. And let's also take a look at the output window. So H, E have been printed out. We are now at I equal to 2, which is a lowercase l in position number 2 in string 1. That should have been printed out now, HEL. Let me step through this for the next L and for the O. So we have HELLO, and now we should encounter the null character. Let's see. So we go up to the for loop statement, and now what happens is, look at the continuation condition. So I should remain less than size being 20. Sure, that's still the case. I is just at value 4 right now. And the character in the corresponding, the ith location of string 1 should not be a null character. Now we are through with H, E, L, L, and O. Let's see what the scanf function put as the next character in the string 1 character array. And if we get out of the for loop now, that means, well, I is still definitely less than 20. But this means that this condition over here has become false. The character is no longer not a null character. Let's see. And there you go. We're out of the for loop at the put statement, which means string 1's character number character number 5 is null character. And if you want to see that, you can even see that here in the variable watch window. You can open the character array string 1, and you can see that element 0 is H, element 1 is E, element 2 is L, element 3 is L, element 4 is O, and element 5 is /0, the null character. And that's what got us under the for loop. That's the output. And we're done.